He owned nothing, sold by his brothers, framed by a woman, forgotten in a cell for 2 years while the world moved on without him. Yet that same broke, forgotten prisoner would one day sit second only to Pharaoh, controlling the wealth of the most powerful nation on earth. If you feel broke, forgotten, or stuck in a season that makes no sense, stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why God let Joseph go broke before he made him great. Joseph started with everything, his father's favorite, wrapped in a coat of many colors, carrying dreams of greatness. But favor without preparation is dangerous, and God knew Joseph wasn't ready yet. So the stripping began. His brothers, burning with jealousy, tore that coat off his back and dragged him toward a deep, dry well. Everything he had was gone in one afternoon. The coat lay torn on the rocky ground. Joseph was sold to traveling merchants for a handful of silver. A caravan carried him across the desert toward the distant shape of Egyptian pyramids. He arrived with nothing but his name, standing chained in a slave market, while strangers inspected him like property. Joseph was bought by Potiphar, a wealthy Egyptian official, and there he rebuilt, managing the household with excellence, gaining trust one faithful day at a time. Then everything was stripped away again. Potiphar's wife reached for him with manipulation in her eyes, and when Joseph fled, he left his cloak behind in her grasp. She held that cloak and pointed an accusing finger, twisting her face into a lie. Guards dragged Joseph to a stone prison, throwing him into a cell with nothing but a single shaft of light breaking through a barred window. He sat alone on that cold floor, eyes closed in quiet prayer. Outside, the seasons changed, green turning to gold, gold turning to bare branches, year after year, with no explanation, no income, no status, no timeline, just silence. But silence is not the same as absence. Joseph interpreted a dream for a fellow prisoner, a cupbearer, who then walked free while Joseph stayed behind, watching through the bars as the door closed once more. He grew older in that same shadowed cell. Financial pressure strips away the illusion of self-sufficiency. It teaches you to trust a voice you cannot see instead of a bank balance you can count. Then, without warning, everything changed. Pharaoh sat up in his bedchamber, startled by a dream that shook him to his core. His wise men stood before the throne, baffled and empty-handed. And in that moment, the cupbearer remembered. He leaned in and whispered urgently into Pharaoh's ear, pointing toward the prison where a forgotten man still waited. Guards rushed to Joseph's cell, dressing him, pulling him into the light after years of darkness. He stood before Pharaoh's throne, humble but composed, golden light pouring in. He raised his hand and explained the dream's meaning with a wisdom only years of waiting could produce. Pharaoh leaned forward, captivated, then removed his own signet ring and placed it on Joseph's hand. In a single day, the forgotten prisoner became the second most powerful man in Egypt. He rode through the streets in fine linen and gold as crowds cheered his name. Under his command, vast storehouses filled with grain, enough to save a nation from famine. On a high palace balcony overlooking golden fields at sunset, Joseph stood with his arms open, finally understanding why every broke, silent season had been necessary. Joseph didn't know, in that prison cell, that Egypt was on the other side of his silence. You don't know what's on the other side of yours either. But if God stripped Joseph down before he ran a nation, your empty season might not be punishment. It might be preparation. If this spoke to you, subscribe, because next time, we're uncovering another hidden pattern the Bible reveals about how God prepares people for assignments they can't yet see.